So as a famous wizard once warned, keep it secret, keep it safe. So let's take a look at how we do this in Couchbase. Like many systems, we control system access based on privileges and roles associated with users. So a privilege would be a specific action allowed on a specified resource. It could be narrow, such as a permission to read data from a specified bucket, or broad, like a permission to view all settings on an entire cluster. A group of privileges or permissions for a specified target is a role. Again, this could be narrow, such as a data DCP reader role for a specified bucket, or broad, like an admin role for an entire cluster. Roles are then associated with a user, a local account which may in turn be integrated with an external system, to which one or more roles is then assigned. This might be for a human user, like Betty Blue the cluster administrator, or an application user, like Travel Portal, with data reader and data writer roles for the travel sample bucket. Now, for administrative access, authentication may be purely internal, or externalized using LDAP or PAM, Pluggable Authentication Modules. Authorization for administrators is focused around 6 nesting roles. Full, which includes all settings and roles, though it may be set to read-only. Then there's Cluster, which includes everything except the ability to change security settings. Then there's Bucket, which lets you provide admin-only or full, including read and write, capabilities for a particular bucket, excluding the ability to configure XDCR pipelines for that bucket. There's a View role, which lets you configure and run aggregate view scripts for a particular bucket. And then Replication, which lets you configure XDCR topology and replication pipes for this cluster, though provides no other access. All this is configurable by a UI, command line, NCL queries, or REST. Now for application access, your client could authenticate as a locally configured user, or more likely, integrate an external system such as OAuth. Application-level authorization is organized around your services, so you have data service roles related to reading, writing, backup, monitoring, and the like. Query service roles controlling permissible NCL use, as well as control over indexing and the use of curl requests within your NCL statements, which is enabled to access external JSON data. There's also search service roles that distinguish between administrative access by a client versus search use only. And then bucket roles to limit access to particular buckets or permit full access. Again, this is all configurable via UI, command line, NCL queries, or REST. We secure administrative access for our comprehensive REST API, and in turn our web UI, which is just an implementation of our REST API, using SSL encryption on the wire. In our Enterprise Edition, we support Trusted Certificate Authority X509 certificates for this encryption, or self-signed certificates if you're using the Community Edition. XDCR connections are likewise SSL encrypted with X509 certificate support if you're using Couchbase Enterprise Edition. Continuing with this theme, SDK connections are similarly SSL encrypted with certificate support when using Couchbase Enterprise. Your data at rest on disk can be fully encrypted, including your data, indexes, tools, password files, configuration, and log files. This integration is fully transparent when using Couchbase Enterprise. Administrative activity is thoroughly audited. 30 named event types are tracked, which, for security, can only be created by the Couchbase server process. Auditing and logging behaviors are configured for this using the Couchbase command line tool. The logs are stored, as you can see here, in easily filtered JSON, which you could report using Splunk or similar tools. So what have we learned? Well, your authentication can be local, or more likely, by integration with LDAP, PAM, SASL, Authn, OAuth, and the like. Authorization is by administrative or service-focused role tied to specific accounts. We provide SSL encryption of all admin traffic, whether UI or REST, all XDCR traffic, and all SDK traffic from your clients. If you're using Couchbase Enterprise, we support X509 certificates for the SSL and integrate transparently with comprehensive at-rest and field-level encryption capabilities. We also securely audit 30 different event types. So with this discussion of some encryption, we've introduced Couchbase's large partner ecosystem. In the next lesson, we'll survey this community.